Excel Challenges, Real Cases from Work, Part 1, Pickles, Puzzles, and Pet Peeves, number 1 through 10. Hi everyone, welcome to this first part of the series of the Excel Challenges. In this course, we will be looking at 10 challenge cases that have been collected directly from real working environment and are intended to share with accounting and finance professionals. First, we will have a quick look of Excel body of knowledge, the BOK, and its learning path. Next, we will be looking at 10 real cases collected directly from working environment. These are the cases from the pros for the pros. Last, we will revisit areas discussed and correlate the 10 cases to the levels in Excel BOK. Okay, before we delve into multiple cases, it may make sense to first review the body of knowledge BOK of Excel, so that we may tally those cases to the BOK in order for them to be relevant. There may be many versions of the BOK, but the following is one that is created specifically for this course. The BOK illustrates the usual learning path of an Excel learner naturally from the basic to the intermediate and from the advanced to the expert level. The BOK is open-ended with top level embracing all miscellaneous skills and future developments in Excel. Now let's put ourselves back to where we were when we learned Excel. The first level learned is the basic elements of Excel: cells, rows, columns, sheets, and files. Then we learn how to format these basic elements in level 1 and set up proper print layout. At level 3, we will move beyond using pluses and minuses to the more complicated formulas and functions, such as sum, if, and eventually VLOOKUP or sum product. At level 4, we learn how to deploy some crucial commands such as freeze panes, protect sheets, or find and select. We were also exposed to some useful keyboard shortcuts, such as Ctrl-C for copy and Ctrl-V for paste. At level 5, we were introduced to the then most powerful components of Excel, data analysis tools such as data validation, group or ungroup, subtotal, and what-if analysis. Also, tables and charts are a great addition to the data analysis tools. Level 6, we learned how to set up pivot tables and pivot charts. To me, they completely changed the landscape of financial reporting with their versatile natures. One can drag and drop to generate multiple reports in just under 1 minute. Then came along the skill of macros and VBAs, or Visual Basic for Applications, which naturally leads to modeling skills and best practices, or level 8. Next came the Power Suite of Excel, namely Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View, and Power Map. This represents the 5th generation of modeling skills, which to some extent eclipsed the needs for writing macros, as Power Query is a combination of formulas and macros. Then the state-of-the-art Power BI makes dashboard reporting and data visualization possible. Best of all, it is free. Last but not least is level 10, which I purposefully leave open-ended to encompass all other components. For example, integration with other systems such as Windows or apps such as Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. Also, future development in Excel will go to this category too. Now, here is a holistic view of the 10 levels, starting with cells, rows, columns, sheets, and files at the bottom, and Power Suite Power BI on the top, representing our learning path. In this course, all challenge cases come from the 10 levels in the Excel Body of Knowledge, or BOK. Challenge number 1, Phantom File. In this challenge case, we will see a file with just one sheet and no other hidden sheets. There are no other highlighting or coloring. There are only a few rows with formulas. However, the file size is 38 megabytes. Now let's take a look at the file and see why the big file size. Now here is the simple report file with only like 10 rows and 14 columns. But its file size is so big. Let's double check how big the file size. As you can see, if you go to Info, Properties, the size is like 37.2 megabytes, which is relatively huge for a file like this. So the next check I will usually do is try to right-click the tab and to see if there are any hidden tabs. And here, as you can see, Unhide is grayed out, so that means there are no other tabs that are hidden under this file. So that's cleared. Next, I will usually go to Names. If you click Formulas, Name Managers, and as you can see, there's no other names, so that's fine too. Okay, so next I will usually go to the bottom scroll bar to scroll all the way to the right to see how many columns it has. In this case, it has all the columns all the way to AD, which is fine. And then on the right column scroll bar, let me scroll down. As you can see, when I scroll down, it amounts to already close to 30,000 rows, and that's only a portion of it. If I scroll the bar all the way to the bottom, and that reached the limit of 1 million rows. To be exact, it's 1,048,576 rows. And that's the reason for this huge file size. So some may ask, I don't see anything in between these rows, and why is this file still big? It is still big because Excel treats it like a part of the file and records all this 1 million rows as content of this file. So how to make this file smaller? One way is to simply delete the extra rows and columns that this file has. So what we can do is we click this column and then click Control Shift arrow, which goes all the way to the far right. Right click the highlighted area, select Delete. That deletes the columns. It usually takes some time because it's a huge file and huge number of columns. And then once that's done, we would do the same for rows. We'll first highlight the first empty rows we want to delete, and then press Control Shift down arrow, which would go all the way to the last row, which is million rows, and right click, delete. And once you delete all the actual rows and columns, it's not done yet. Remember to click Save, otherwise the file size will still be big. Let's click Save. Now let's check out File, Info, File Size. Now the file size has reduced from 37 megabytes all the way to 36 kilobytes. And that's a huge difference. Well, now some people may ask, how come I ended up with such huge file? What did I do wrong? Well, the main reason is human error. For example, from copying and pasting one cell rather than paste to another cell, it pastes to the whole columns. For example, paste this number to the 4 columns, which has 1 million rows each. As you can see, when you scroll down on the right, it has all the 1 million rows per column. So that's huge. And what's worth, if someone delete these content, the cells are still there. As you can see on the right, when we scroll down again, it still amounts to 1 million rows. So at this point of time, let's save to see how big this file size is. Let's click Save. Although you can see nothing in these 4 columns, let's check how big this file size is. Info properties, it amounts to 14 megabytes, which is dramatic increase from previous 36 kilobytes. So that's the reason. As a summary, this file has horizontal scroll bar up to column AC, vertical scroll bar up to 1 million rows. This usually happens when copy-paste highlight the whole rows or columns. The solution will be to select all rows or columns below the used rows, right-click the selected rows and delete. Or let me know if you have a better way to do this. And that's the end for challenge case number 1.